Ancient machine for predicting eclipses. Imagine diving 150 feet beneath the sea. You are looking for sponges, which is not very exciting, but it's your job. Now imagine coming across the wreck of an ancient ship. That's what happened to some divers off the island of Antikythera in the Mediterranean Sea. The ship had been on the sea floor for almost 2,000 years. Divers found coins, statues, musical instruments, and other precious items in the shipwreck. The greatest treasure of all, however, was a collection of corroded metal gears. Nothing like them had ever been found before or has ever been found since. They seem to fit together in a complicated way. They are part of a machine that scientists call the Antikythera mechanism. It took scientists many years to figure out what the mysterious machine was for. Eventually, scientists used X-rays to view the gears and other parts inside the machine. They were also able to read ancient Greek writing on some of the parts. Using this new information, scientists realized the Antikythera mechanism was built by ancient astronomers to predict patterns in the appearance of the sun, the planets that people were able to observe, and especially the moon. Ancient Greek astronomers have been observing the moon and keeping track of its appearance for hundreds of years. Looking over all the observations, they noticed patterns. The astronomers assumed the patterns that had been going on for hundreds of years would keep going into the future. They built the Antikythera mechanism to predict events in the future based on the patterns they'd observed. A user of the Antikythera mechanism could turn a dial on the side of the mechanism to choose a date and time, either in the past or in the future. The gears would spin into place, predicting the appearance and position of the moon and other bodies at that time. The machine had pointers and other displays to show its predictions. For example, ancient astronomers knew there would be a full moon every 29 and a half days. There was a ball on the Antikythera mechanism that traced the phases of the moon. The ball was white on one side, representing the side of the illuminated moon, the moon illuminated by the sun, and black on the other, representing the dark side of the moon. As the user turned the dial of the machine, the little moon ball would spin to show what phase of the moon and what would be in on that day. The Antikythera mechanism also traced patterns that took much longer to repeat. For instance, ancient astronomers knew that occasionally on the night of a full moon, a lunar eclipse happens. During a lunar eclipse, the fully illuminated face of the moon goes dark for a time. However, they noticed that this didn't happen every full moon. In fact, over a year would sometimes pass before their observations of lunar eclipses. Through careful recording, the ancient astronomers realized that eclipses, although rare, happened in patterns. They kept track of the patterns and recorded their knowledge in the workings of the Antikythera mechanism. As a user turned the date dial of the Antikythera mechanism, the mechanism counted the days and displayed exactly when people in Greece could expect to observe a lunar eclipse. The mechanism showed when an eclipse would happen, but it didn't show why an eclipse would happen. The astronomers who made the Antikythera mechanism knew that the moon seems to shine because it is illuminated by light from the sun. They also knew that an eclipse of the moon happens when Earth blocks the sunlight and makes a shadow on the moon. They did not know exactly why this happened at some times and not others. Today, astronomers can explain why lunar eclipses happen when they do. Lunar eclipses are caused by Earth blocking sunlight from reaching the moon. For Earth to block the sunlight, it has to be between the sun and the moon. Not only that, but the sun, Earth, and moon have to line up exactly, with the Earth in the middle. When they line up this way, Earth blocks the sunlight and the moon goes dark. Eclipses only happen on the night of a full moon because the full moon is the phase when the sun, Earth, and Moon line up with the Earth in the middle. There's a diagram that shows you the lunar eclipse, how they have to be lined up. It says during the lunar eclipse, the Sun, the Earth, and the Moon are arranged in a straight line. Light from the Sun is blocked by Earth and cannot reach the Moon. If this is true, why don't lunar eclipses happen every time the Moon is full? Why did the ancient astronomers have to wait so long between observations of eclipses? It's because the Moon's orbit around Earth is slightly tilted out of alignment. During most full moons, the Sun, Earth, and Moon are lined up, but they are not lined up exactly. For the three bodies to line up exactly, the Moon has to be exactly in the right spot on its tilted orbit. That happens very infrequently. The makers of the Antikythera mechanism knew how unusual this was, but they didn't understand the reason. Now you do.